Alright, this is a channel I've not talked about or covered in a while now, but you guys have recommended it to me over the years, and I figured it was about time that I finally checked in on the guy, because I haven't seen him in a while. But he's still pulling numbers, you know? He's not as big as he was a little while back, but I can't knock him. He's still pulling pretty big numbers. And most recently, he seems to be getting on board with the Indian hate, which is a really big trend on the right at the moment. That creator being markdice. This guy is kind of robotic and psychotic, is the best way I can describe him. Last time I covered him, I just remember him giving me this really weird, off-putting vibe. I don't know whether or not I'll get that again here, but we'll just have to watch and find out, I guess. He put out a new video a day ago called "The Jig is Up, India, H-1B Visa Scheme Exposed." Yeah, the small IN text is, it's like a dog whistle being used by a lot of, like, racists in videos that are meant to be, like, racist rambles about Indian people. So when you see that little symbol, and it's not a video about, like, traveling to India or something, then it's probably some racist dog whistle shit. Keep that in mind. What's up, Nock? Good to see you. So let's go ahead and check out this video. What is he talking about here? I'm gonna guess this has a lot to do with being upset that Trump plans to not cancel the H-1B visa program, and came out and just overtly said that Americans aren't talented enough to fill these job positions, and we do need foreign workers to fill those job positions if they're going to be done well. Not a good look for the right. Anyway, if you end up liking this video, leave a like, leave a hype, comment, and subscribe. Let's get right into it, though.
President Trump's bizarre interview with Laura Ingraham this week, where he said that we need to allow 600,000 Chinese students to come to America and go to American universities, otherwise many of them will go bankrupt.
Man, so many of the conservative channels that I've been looking to respond to lately, I expect some, like, hardcore Trump dick sucking, but lately they're all so busy attacking Trump or fighting each other, it's hard to find some good old-fashioned right-wing propaganda that's recent. These people are so focused on infighting. It's like, I mean, I want to find those classic, like, chud propaganda videos for you, but so many of them are attacking Trump now. Like, when I tell you that the MAGA Civil War is real, I mean it's so real that all these creators are busy fighting each other and attacking Trump to be making their normal right-wing slop content. Some of them still are, but it's everywhere. The Civil War is real, dude.
And we need to continue to hand out H-1B work visas to foreigners like candy as we re-industrialize America. It opened a much-needed conversation that many...
He's so robotic. Yeah, I'm not the, like, only one who picks up on this, right? He's got this very robotic tone. Like, I think it's because his tone doesn't change at all. He doesn't make his voice go up or down even a little bit. It's completely flat. I'm Indian. Well, I pop memes that you'll probably enjoy this stream because I have been getting a lot more into going after this trend of Indian hate that's been getting big online lately. And I don't think the left is paying enough attention, so I will.
Many on the right, the gatekeepers in conservative Inc. and the mainstream conservative media, didn't want to have about the legal immigration problem and the H-1B.
So here we are, 8 years later. We go from, we love legal immigrants, you can come into the country, you just got to do it legally, Now all of a sudden it's memes making fun of the idea that it's okay for immigration to happen as long as they do it legally. Wild how absolutely blatant they are about what their true intentions were this whole time.
The work visa loophole. So let's have that conversation. People are starting to notice something very strange about the H-1B foreign work visas, like the fact that the overwhelming majority of them go to people from India. 71%.
What is the population of India? What is the population of China? Are we really struggling here? Are we really struggling here? What's the population of the Philippines? Do you know what these three countries have in common? Immense populations. Massive populations. And pretty decent educational systems. A lot of really good doctors and smart people come out of India. Same goes for China. And the fact that they have so many fucking people means, of course, we're getting a lot of people from the literal top 2 most populous countries on the planet. And I'm not wrong about that, right? Aren't India and China, in that order, the most populous countries on the planet? I'm pretty sure I'm right about that. I mean, at least he's using real data and even showing where he sourced it from. That's better than most conservative channels we cover.
Last year. Under 12% went to people from China. And, well, I mean, none of them basically went to people from Europe. But these are the best and the brightest in the...
Why would they be coming here? Europe is better to live in for many people than America is. You would only come to America if you were already really successful and well off. America is the best place in the world to be if you're a rich person. But if you're like a working class person, you would much rather be in Europe. You have in a lot of cases, you'd have your healthcare paid for. You have better quality of life, better food standards, pretty much across the board. As a working class person, you're probably going to be happier in a European country compared to America. But as a rich person, there's nowhere you'd rather want to be than America. America is a consumer economy. If you want to be consumerist with your massive wealth and you want to be in America, if you want to be able to pay out of pocket for the best healthcare on the planet, then you want to be in America. But you can only afford these privileges if you're rich. So obviously, working class Europeans aren't coming over here in great numbers. Also, European countries are generally not as populous as India and China and the Philippines. Hell, we get a lot of immigration from Canada. What do you mean, no European countries? If what you mean by that is white countries founded primarily by WASPs in their founding days, then why doesn't Canada count?
The whole world, according to Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy, who need to come here. We need them for their expertise.
There we go. We got the Tyler Oliveira video. So obviously, we all know, no matter how much the Tyler Oliveira fans try to claim it wasn't for that purpose, this video was going to be used to push Indian hate. Now, for those who don't know, this is a festival that has been nicknamed in English the Cow Dung Festival. And this is not a thing that India does, quote unquote. This is a hyper niche, specific to one small town event that is genuinely considered by most of India to be gross, backwoods, and weird. In the same way that, like, the cow shit throwing festivals that we have in, like, the Midwest and the American South are very localized, specific, like, part of America things, and most of America who live in cities and urban environments would see videos of that and be like, what are these weirdo Americans doing? This is a very local, rural event that most of the country looks down on, to be honest. It's in that way a lot like mudding, for example, in America. Just one of those, like, it's like Indian redneck activity is what you're seeing right now. But it's being played off as, by particularly Tyler Oliveira, as this being India's cow poop festival. It is literal cherry picking. It is massive cherry picking. And you can literally look at, like, forums of Indian people in India talking about this, and they're like, I can't believe this. This is literally as if somebody went to, like, some bumpkin event in America and tried to pass off the entire country as being that way, when you damn well know most of the country finds this weird.
Here's some of them now, celebrating Diwali at the...
Also, I just want to say, it's called Diwali. Apparently, by the way, like, Tyler Oliveira didn't wear shoes for this. Judge this as much as you want. Judge the people here as much as you want. Tyler Oliveira chose to wear head to neck a whole suit and no shoes. Just saying.
Famous poop throwing festival. It's long overdue for this scam.
It is not a famous poop throwing festival. It is an event held with less than 10,000 attendants in a town with less than 40,000 people in, like, a very rural part, or less than 20,000 people in a very rural part of India, a country with a population in the billions.
To end for many reasons.
Over a billion.
And stay tuned, because you're going to see the tremendous pushback now coming from several members of Congress who are introducing legislation in order to...
The dichotomy of fascism, by the way. This is not Diwali Lama. Okay, is that just him calling it that? Okay, I shouldn't have taken his word for it. He's just calling it something. Okay. Anyway, one thing I want to point out is the blatant hypocrisy in their characterization of Indians. Because simultaneously, they want to fearmonger about Indians coming here to take high-end, high-paying, high-skill tech jobs because they're so smart and they're so much more qualified. But at the same time, they play in poop and they're primitive and lesser. They're simultaneously lesser in the most lesser ways, but also greater in the most fundamental ways of intelligence that it makes them a threat when it comes to job security. I am going to go out on a limb here and say you can't have it both ways. Pick a hatred. Like they say, pick a struggle. Pick a point at which to hate Indians from and stick with it, okay?
Just stop all H-1B visas from being issued. Again, they claim that it's the best and the brightest, that we need their expertise.
Diwali is about lighting candles to symbolize the triumph of good over evil. Yeah, okay, can I show you guys what the majority of festivals in India actually look like? Because, like, what you just saw was really gross and not even close to representative of what I'm talking about. When I think, like, festival in India, I'm sure this is also somewhat local, but I know for a fact that this is really popular. This is what a festival in India looks like. If you're not seeing a million colors, then it's not actually a famous nationwide Indian festival. That's a pretty good rule of thumb. If you're not seeing millions of colors, then you're being lied to. This is an actual festival, and this is what it actually looks like. And you're gonna see a lot of colors. Yeah, this is a festival people actually know. Like, Pokemon Go has this as an event, like, in-game. I know because I did the event, where whenever you click on a Pokestop and spin it, you get a little, like, poof of different colored, like, powder. You also got the petals. A lot of petals. Flower petals. Yellow, orange, red, white. Those are the big colors that you're going to see a lot of. Damn, she's pretty. Anyway. I like her nose ring. It's very ornate. Why can't we have non-woke, non-gross festivals like the Japanese Penis Festival? God. Very good. Very good, my friend. Very good. Anyway, that's an actual representation of a festival like that. You know, the whole idea that India has a national famous poop festival, complete lie. Tyler Oliveira knew what he was doing, and he had to go deep diving to find out about that poop festival. Like, he had to go deep to find out about that shit. There's no way he stumbled across that on his, like, casual vacation to India.
But we pay them much less than American workers. It's a known secret. It's an open secret. Not even a secret anymore. That this is a legal loophole to import foreigners who will work longer hours for far less money than Americans.
Now, I'm going to absolutely rip apart the fantasy that conservatives have right now. Conservatives live in a fantasy world where pay directly correlates with demand for a job position to be filled, when oftentimes that's not really the case. In reality, it sounds right on paper, right? Like, okay, you've got a bunch of immigrants coming to America who are willing to fill positions for less pay than Americans would be willing to fill that position for, which means Americans are losing what would be really high-paying jobs. On paper, it makes sense, right? But in reality, let's look at a variety of jobs that have very low demand for Americans because the pay is so low, and so America just finds people to fill those positions instead of raising the prices so people are willing to take those jobs. For instance, think of how many jobs in America are filled by prison labor. If we just get rid of these immigrant laborers and we raise the prices of these jobs, mind you, or the pay of these jobs, mind you, there is a minimum wage in this country, okay? Companies are not going to pay any less than minimum wage unless they use some kind of special loophole, which wouldn't be a thing in salary jobs, because there is a minimum wage. Okay, so that's the thing already. And the idea that these companies will start paying Americans more to work the same jobs, when these Americans will be less qualified and less good at the jobs, that is objectively true, and the companies are paying foreign workers because they know they're better at the job and are willing to take less pay. The idea that they're going to be willing to give more pay in the first place is insane. Mind you, we live in a country where a significant amount of jobs are filled by prison labor. Do you really think that companies are going to give Americans higher paying jobs, or do you think they're going to do what they always do, which is just force prisoners to do the job for 50 cents an hour? Sorry, a quarter an hour, maybe. Come on. Come on, like think about it on a reality level. Like, the private prison system is going to supply the labor, just like they supply the labor for the ditch diggers and the garbage picker-uppers on the side of the road. When people are not willing to take a salary to do that job, they send prisoners to do it. There are thousands of jobs in America that we have federal prisoners doing because there isn't enough demand among, like, Americans to do that job. So we do legalized slavery and force slave laborers, literally, from the American prison system to do it. license plates, picking up trash, digging ditches. In a lot of cases, they're chefs. They cook. Like, they do tons of different jobs. And they have no choice. When you're in federal prison, oftentimes you have to do a job. Like, they give you a job, they assign you one. You can try to get reassigned, but you have to do a job.
Will work longer hours for far less money than Americans. So stay tuned and I'll get into all that. But first, real quick, I launched an entire...
All right. Grift. Get back to it.
And they should all pay them so much less than we pay Americans for the same job. Here's just a quick chart showing the median pay for various industries, various jobs, from technical lead, software engineer, Java developer, and they're between 20 and almost 50% lower than the American pay. Here is Silicon Valley entrepreneur Palmer Luckey, who developed the Oculus VR headset, which then I think was purchased by Facebook, by Meta, talking about how this system actually works.
Of course, there's so much H-1B abuse. You would not believe what I saw when I was in Silicon Valley. It is insane. It's obviously a program to try and replace U.S. workers with basically slave labor that can't ever escape. The H-1B abuse is crazy.
And
I would buy this criticism if big tech was not in the pocket of the Gulf states. You can't levy this criticism in America when you're in the pocket of Saudi Arabia, the UAE, and Qatar. Sorry, buddy. When you've got your vacation home in fucking Dubai, I don't buy the idea that you are so bothered by the H-1B program being slavery. Mind you, in no universe can H-1B workers not leave. Okay, they're not trapped here. This isn't a Gulf state where the immigrant laborers literally are trapped and are not allowed to leave and have their passports taken from them.
the big tech titans like the Indian workers because they don't care about American holidays. They'll work on Thanksgiving and on Christmas and on Veterans Day. They don't observe American holidays because they're obviously not Americans. And they can pay them much cheaper to do the same job because they're glad to get out of the dung pile country that they come from. Back before the Democrats
not even trying to hide it. Go fuck yourself, buddy.
Went completely off the rails and abandoned the working class in favor of their new voter.
Listen, all I'm going to say is the reason why humanity does not currently live in our own shit right now is not because of the work of men like this guy, okay? Men like this guy did not raise humanity out of the dirt and filth to where we are today.
Base, the future citizens of America, the illegal aliens that have invaded us by the tens of millions, they actually did care about American workers being replaced by these H-1B visa holders. Here's CBS News from back in 2017.
The H-1B visa bill was written in 1990. It lets companies recruit foreign talent for emerging engineering and scientific jobs. But loopholes allow for outsourcing of American jobs to foreign workers, often at lower pay. Bill Whitaker
Why get rid of the system? Why not close the loopholes?
spoke to some Americans displaced.
Like, why get rid of taxes in America? Why not close the loopholes that let the wealthiest people avoid taxes through offshore accounts and holding their assets as, instead of liquid cash, they hold them as stocks and shares. They get stock options and they can be worth billions while also being worth nothing.
By H-1B visa workers for Sunday's 60 Minutes.
When you tell someone their real reason for getting rid of these jobs is for cheap foreign labor, that should offend everyone.
They have to train the worker who is going to take their job.
Right. They are told by their company, if you don't train this person in a way that we approve of them being trained, then you don't get your severance.
He lost his job to a foreign worker, like thousands of other Americans every year. Laid off.
I mean, at the end of the day, you can argue that this sucks, but we all know the data on what happens if we cut off H-1B visas, if we cut off immigration. America is not an economy that runs on us doing this kind of labor. Now, to be clear, if you have a problem with this, then you should have been in favor of electing Biden again, because Biden was doing more than any president ever has to pull us ahead of China in particular in the world of tech. Which means more jobs in general in the world of tech means more being filled by Americans, even if a lot of them get filled by H-1B workers. And a lot of them always will be filled by H-1B workers. But as these industries get bigger, assuming the bubble doesn't pop, more jobs does mean more slots that will inevitably be filled by Americans. Now, at the end of the day, Trump cut all that off. America was very much on track to pull ahead of China in the world of microchips, one of the biggest industries in all of big tech. Silicon Valley would have definitely beat out China's big tech sector, but now we've thrown that away. So all of the potential created jobs, I believe it was like somewhere around 25,000 plus jobs that Biden was going to create in the world of microchip and processors, because he was having a bunch of factories built here and setting it up so that we'd have like very good trade relations for the raw materials required to produce them here. And it was a whole 6-year plan for getting the factories built here. That's on average how long it takes to get manufacturing set up. So that's the big problem, is that America's not a manufacturing country. We are a country that consumes things at the end of the day, and that is our economy. And when people consume things, there has to be workers that provide the thing to be consumed. So the vast majority of jobs and labor in this country for Americans are service work. Anything from being a firefighter to being a bartender or a cashier. There are millions upon millions upon millions of these job positions in this country because so many people in this country buy things. So the way we make our money, the jobs we work in this country, are sitting behind a desk selling things more often than not. That is most jobs in America. We work jobs where we sit behind a counter and sell things, not where we sit in an assembly line and make things. And we could become that economy again if we really focused on it from a policy perspective. Trump does not know how to do that and is not fit to do so. He doesn't know how to leverage tariffs surgically to pull us ahead in certain sectors like Biden did. All he's going to do is crash our economy, which I don't think I even need to tell you that anymore. I mean, come on.
Because of a program that allows companies to replace employees with foreign labor. But before leaving, they often are asked to train their replacements.
So sorry, Grandpa, if this is where you're going to drive the Trump train, then we're going to have to take the keys and we'll drive it from here. Do you understand? Even the boomer viewers over at Fox News are starting to wake up to this.
700,000 H-1B visa holders in America.
V-holes.
Now, who is coming to this country to take these high-skilled jobs?
High-skilled jobs? Of course. I mean, we're dealing with Fox News, so you're not going to get the whole truth. But
I'm sorry. You're a YouTuber, you stupid fucking retard. You think you could work in STEM? You think you're smarter than the smartest of the smartest Indian people and Chinese people coming here to work in our biggest tech and STEM fields? You're a fucking YouTuber. I'm a YouTuber. We're retards, bro. The smartest of us could not fucking lick the boots of the least smart H-1B immigrant coming to this country to work in big tech or in STEM. Who the fuck do you think you are, bro? Like, you're a YouTuber, by the way. Just we're both. I'm not like not aware of that fact, but we're both YouTubers, dog. Who the Okay.
Continue.
As I mentioned, STEM fields dominate the occupations, and most of the workers come from India. In fact, 70% of H-1B visa holders come from India.
The smartest people on the whole planet. I mean, certainly wouldn't be from Germany or other.
I mean, for one, India is embracing technology on like a cultural and economic level faster than many other countries, as is China, which also correlates directly with the fact that both countries are the most populous on the planet. So statistically, it makes sense that these would be the number one. If I were to guess which countries would have to have the most H-1B immigrants coming from them, I would say India and China. It just makes sense. Why is he acting like this is a shocking statistic? Or why we should be surprised or freaked out by it at all? Like, we shouldn't be. This is exactly what you should have guessed would be the case.
Parts of Europe, right? Or even up in Canada, it's the poop throwers.
Another 10 to 15%
Jesus
come.
Christ, bro. Oh my god. I'm gonna report this video, honestly. Holy fuck, dude. Listen, YouTube is run by a lot of Indian people, so hopefully they see this shit and are like, what the fuck? Jesus Christ, man. You can't... Listen, at a certain point, when you're that explicit, bro hates Indians. There we go. Leftist deplatforming, at it again.
From China.
This is interesting. YouTube, you good, dog? Hey, YouTube, you good? I guess we're in this screen now.
80 80% of H-1B visa approvals are for entry-level or junior-level jobs. That's a little hard to stomach when we hear that we're not talented enough or that we're not skilled enough for these jobs when you consider that most of these jobs are actually at entry or junior-level jobs. And it's definitely to the benefit of corporations, tech companies that can hire foreign workers, trust me on this, cheaper than American workers.
That's right, which is why scam artist Vivek Ramaswamy, who got rich on a...
I mean, he is a scam artist, but I have a feeling you wouldn't be calling him that if he was white. Okay, I have that feeling. I have that gut feeling.
Pump and dump stock scheme, now running for governor of Ohio. And Elon Musk raged against people who were opposed to the H-1B loophole on Christmas Day of all days last year. Do you remember that? Which generated this meme, which you never thought you would see, showing a MAGA supporter there, pulling on the rope, being joined by Bernie Sanders of all people. And then on the other side, you have Vivek Ramaswamy and Elon Musk. And before people like Vivek and Dinesh D'Souza,
it's so beautiful to see these people fighting. Also, I'm going to turn this up because he kind of talks a little bit slow. It's so beautiful to see these people fighting. Brings an absolute tear to my eye. Tear of joy, of course. Tear of joy.
And Elon Musk started whispering sweet nothings into President Trump's ear about how fantastic this program is and how we need all these people from India to come here, the smartest people on the planet. This is how President Trump addressed the situation when he was running for president back in 2016.
Well, first of all, I think, and I know the H-1B very well, and it's something that I frankly use, and I shouldn't be allowed to use. We shouldn't have it. Very, very bad for workers. And second of all, I think...
Of course, the highly skilled workers that President Trump used at Mar-a-Lago and his other properties for the H-1B workers had nothing to do with the tech industry or the medical industry.
I'm pretty sure H-1B workers are pretty restricted to certain areas. Is the loophole he's referring to one that allows H-1B visa workers to work outside of the designated positions that it... Because it's mostly around STEM and really high skill labor that America needs to have filled by the best and the brightest, regardless of where they're from.
These are like maids and cooks and dishwashers.
Is this a thing? I mean, maybe I'm wrong. I'll look into it. H-1B, visa, loophole, Trump, maids. President Trump proposed American companies pay a $100,000 fee for each foreign employee they seek to hire. Confusion and worry spread. This is part of the H-1B, allow U.S. employers to temporarily hire foreign employees in specialty occupations, quote-unquote, according to the Department of Labor. As a way to bring talent into the U.S. At the same time, there have been calls for reform from people who say the program allows companies to hire foreign workers at lower wages than they would allow for Americans. About 15% of H-1B visas are given to tech contractors whom the public largely perceives as driving down wages for domestic workers. How many Americans are working in big tech or educated for big tech? Said Michael A. Clemens, a professor of economics at George Mason. Economic, labor, and immigration experts told PBS News that while the H-1B program may need an overhaul, Trump's broad approach could hamper innovations and ultimately economic growth. They call Trump's proclamation a reform sledgehammer in an area where finesse is required. And this one specifically allows entry and employment people in fields that often require specialized knowledge or abilities. This can include employees in sciences, medicine, healthcare, education, biotechnology, and business specialties, among other fields, according to the Labor Department. About 65% of H-1B workers approved in fiscal year 2023 were in computer-related fields and made a median salary of $123,600. Wow! 65% of H-1B workers are making $125,000 a year and are working in computers. So from what I'm understanding, like, if there is a loophole here to get workers that are outside of the specialty work, maybe, but it is a massively small minority.
I think it's very important to say, well, I'm a businessman.
And they're getting paid a slave wage of 125,000 USD a year.
And I have to do what I have to do, and it's sitting there waiting for you, but it's very bad. It's very bad for business in terms of, it's very bad for our workers. And it's
Yeah, see, it's good for his pocket. It's good for the corporate pockets, but not for the average worker. And Can we just go beyond just the implications of the wages that it affects and go on to how it is affecting the demographics in America as well? The cultural fabric of our society? These are the kinds of people we definitely don't want in our country. We only want to know about them from a National Geographic special or like the Tyler Oliveira YouTube guy.
He's so full of hate. They really do just look down on others. Like, there is a part of them that is broken, that makes them, like, just hate. And to be clear, he knows he's lying. Like, the hate is not honest. Like, this is not actually how he understands India to be. He knows that this is, like, an extremely niche thing. It's just he wants something that he knows more than just him will see and be disgusted by. And this is what they had to find, to cherry pick, to make their point.
Going over there and documenting the Diwali poop-throwing festival. Now, to be
It's not Diwali.
fair, President Trump did add a $100,000 fee on top of, I'm assuming, only some H-1B visas. So if a corporation wants to bring a foreign worker over here, they have to pay the government then $100,000, which obviously then disincentivizes them from hiring someone who actually isn't highly skilled in order to replace American jobs. I'm just assuming that that's not the case for all of them. So after President Trump's embarrassing and disastrous interview with Laura Ingraham this week, the White House is doing damage control and posted this on their official social media accounts, a link to a Daily Wire article. Okay, they couldn't just post a statement saying that Trump is promising to crack down on H-1B visa abuses. Whoever is running the White House social media account obviously needs to be better educated about what kinds of news sources they should be sharing. Maybe post some commentary from Steve Bannon, who's been warning about this abuse and the browning of America for years.
I forgot markdice was a full-on Nazi. Like, I'd forgotten that he was just kind of like a Nazi robot who just mask-offs in every video and, like, pulls huge viewership and never gets in trouble for it. Like, there's something about this guy where he's just, like, immune to any TOS violations. Like, dude, I might get my video struck for the shit he's saying. Like, YouTube is so up my ass about anything they perceive as hate speech. I've gotten, like, 12 hate speech strikes in my time as a creator. And you guys damn well know they were all false, considering YouTube admitted as such and removed them when I asked for an appeal. But the fact that YouTube tags so much of anything I say it's even remotely, like, mildly interpretable by an AI as hate speech, they mark it and get me. Yet this guy is, like, openly mask-off racist and gets away with it. If that is not evidence that there is a system built in to avoid striking conservative channels for every single video they upload so they don't look biased, with their content moderation, if that doesn't prove that a system like that exists, then I don't know what will, okay? I don't know what will. Anyway, guys, if you end up enjoying this video, leave a like, comment, hype it if you want to get it out there in front of more people, subscribe if you want to see more from me, and I very much do hope to see you guys again in the next one. Thank you, as always, for watching.